Kiln House Design Studio incorporates quirkiness, elegance, and a touch of African design in their ceramics. With a background in industrial design and tons of clay in her pockets, Nicola Smith's Play-Doh time never has to end.
Kiln House's style of ceramics is very much rooted in African design. There's a lot of earthy tones, a lot of really nice, graceful shapes, and just joyful forms. The way a collection really develops is when we decide what the products are made for. So dinnerware, we'll be doing a whole range to suit a table. So it would be mugs, cups, bowls, and then there would be sizes. So if we're doing a dinnerware just for your average Joe or just for the average household, then it would just be 2 bowls or 3 bowls. Also types of mugs, we were doing 2 or 3 types of mugs. And it's all just based on where or which environment that we're suiting the range to.
What is often key in the design process is making sure the products are adaptable to most interior spaces while maintaining a uniqueness wherever they are housed.
Typically when we start the design of any ceramic product, we'll start off with a rough sketch, even if it's on a little piece of paper off the side, just to get the shape right or the idea down quickly. So based on the shape, it will decide which side of production it needs to go to, either a mold or thrown on the wheel. We really love to work on the wheel, so most of our items are geared towards wheel throwing. So we'll start off with a lump of clay, and we will form that lump of clay based on the dimensions that we see the product having. And then if we see proportionally it doesn't work, we'll push and pull, we'll lift or drop, just based on if the item looks too crunched up or too stressed or too squeezed or too open. Then we'll decide on the wheel which dimensions work the absolute best, mark those down, and keep those samples. So after that step, clay takes about a day to dry to a form where it's kind of like cheese or chocolate, you could say. You're able to take your nail and you're able to run your nail over it, and if it kind of curls up like cheese or chocolate would, then it's good for trimming. In this stage, we're removing a lot of the raw material that we can't remove when we throw a vessel. And then after that stage, the vessel's trimmed, we leave it, we stamp it, and it takes about 3 or 4 days, depending on the weather, to make the product bone dry. Bisque is the next process that we'll put the product through. So once there's hardly any moisture left in the vessel, we'll take it through to the kiln, and we'll fire that right up to 1,000 degrees, sometimes a little higher depending on how full the kiln is. So the kiln takes about 15 to 18 hours to cool down, depending on how much of a rush you're in. And then we'll take that product and we will cover it in glaze. Glaze is typically made out of crushed up powderized bottles. So it is a liquid, and there's glass suspended in that liquid, and it's pigmented in whichever colors that you require. And there's so many colors available out there, but we typically use white or something a bit more subdued.
Kiln House's latest range, Lines and Sand, is a graduation from novice to professional. Nicola describes the range as not only elegant, but thoughtful and functional.
Because having industrial design background, I felt like I wanted to make products that looked aesthetically pleasing, because that's what we love to do. But also I felt like I wanted to use the lines and the decoration in a functional way. So in the Lines and Sand range, there's 3 lines that we use: a single line, double line, triple line, and that represents the size of the vessel within the range. So an espresso cup, which is the smallest one, will be a single line, 200 ml is 2 lines, 300 ml is 3 lines. So these lines really organize the product, so you're able to build on a range, or you're able to see what you have in that range. It is also a symbolic way of me trying to understand the way that humans organize themselves within borders. Lines and Sand is more of a professional step. It's the mark that we're trying to make in the ceramic industry, and that's the lines are really just the marks that we're trying to create. It's a visual representation of the mark.
And with that, this budding ceramicist leaves an eclectic yet distinct touch in all her vessels, perfect to lighten any interior with their warm earthy tones and soft edges.